broadcast of Comics Let's Talk. This week we're going to take a look at a couple of little-known comic books. There are literally thousands of comic books out there waiting to get discovered. Most of them, maybe they're crap, but there are a few gems that are worth noting. And today, I want to take notice of some of the better, independent, new comic book creators that are out there. And once again, there are literally thousands of comic books on Indie Planet that never get read, including mine, Carl Vincent Vampire Hunter, for those who would like to know. And I have decided to dedicate my comic reviews once a month on Comics for Sinners website to those little-known titles just aching to get discovered. My name is Kevin Given. I write a column on the website Comics for Sinners called Given to Me. And we generally look at my own creation, Carl Vincent Vampire Hunter, and the production of the movie, if we're still going to make that movie. I'm not sure if we're still making it at this broadcast, but we'll take a look at some stuff on that site that has to do with my creation, Carl Vincent Vampire Hunter. I also do comic book reviews for Comics for Sinners. Today we're discussing Purgatory Comics #1. There is a movie that goes along with this comic book, and you can find it on YouTube. The first issue of this comic book begins with a comic book signing at what appears to be a comic store or maybe even a comic book convention. Peter Wales is signing his work for erstwhile fans and is bombarded with complex questions about whether his current issue takes place in an alternate universe or not. He displays frustration and remembers a time where fun. His response reminds me of the William Shatner skit on Saturday Night Live where he asks fans to get a life after a nerd asks him about the pH balance on the soil of the planet Vulcan. It's great stuff. Looking at the creative team, Ralph Ciarez has his fingers directly on the pulse of those who take comic books way too seriously. Peter Wales experiences a lethargic, which is actually quite an understatement, response to his fans, and the comic book store owner is worried about his business based on what happened. Think Clerks meets Weekend at Bernie's as our protagonist must deal with end-of-life issues. This is a great send-up homage of the entire comic book industry. I highly recommend this little title as it's unlike anything I've ever read. Rafael Rivera never takes any of this too seriously as he brings us the panels in question as a cartoony take on the creators and has everything from cats who are lawyers to a JLA Avengers knockoff called the Revengers. The characters are obviously based on the real creators of the series, and it's a fun read, made more enjoyable by the over-the-top drawings. Once again, it's great stuff. Look it up. You can get issue #1 for free on Indie Planet. In conclusion, the issue laments over every comic book cliche from how female heroes are dressed, or not, to code words and catchphrases like Avengers Assemble and Flame On. If you enjoy comics but don't take them too seriously, this is an enjoyable read and free digitally on Indie Planet. It's a delightful send-up of the whole superhero genre, as well as the current obsession with zombies. Get your copy today. Now let's take a look at the trailer for the movie, which you can find on YouTube.
Did you not sell me this comic about a half hour ago?
Yeah.
Well, then can you explain to me why the pages stick together like this?
How does a girl like you know so much about comics?
Because Barbie dolls are too expensive.
She is awesome!
Since you started helping us advertise, our customer database is up an extra 33 names. He lives inside his head. He's trapped in some fantasy world.
Okay, that can't hurt me because I'm a zombie, but I get the message.
We're comic geeks, that's what we do.
You sure do.
You're thinking about that guy, aren't you?
I don't know who you're talking about.
You make choices, you know? And if you must one day date again, you can always try alternative lifestyles.
Yeah, for the last time, I'm not going lesbian!
What's going on? Are you thinking about going back to work?
I thought it would be a good idea to see what's out there, you know?
What's out there? What about what's in here?
You need to find that quiet sense of knowing.
I mean, a few months ago, I walked outside my life. but it just kept going without me. I want to get it back before it's too late.
If things go back to the way they were, this store won't be around.
You ran from your job after promotion? You ran from him because he wanted to plan a future? So tell me, why does a happy ending scare you so much?
We are this close to closing for good.
It's gonna be great.
How come no one could tell Clark Kent is Superman when he wears his glasses?
Hey, Evan, ask me anything you want about microeconomics.
What does that mean?
I'm here to arouse you with my telekinetic powers.
Don't buy anything from these people. A bunch of damn perverts.
We have time for another review. This is my current review of Amazing Man #1. Once again, find this review on the Comics for Sinners website. It was written by Ka-Blam co-creator Barry Gregory with art by Steve Butler. One clever way for up-and-coming comic book creators to gain attention is to take a character that's in public domain and write new stories. Fans of the original and curiosity seekers are sure to take notice of new stories using old characters. Comic book companies like Dynamite and Boom use older franchises that still have a wide audience, such as The Shadow and Big Trouble in Little China, to guarantee initial sales. However, just using characters that have a cult following doesn't necessarily guarantee success. Amazing Man came about in 1939, conceived by Bill Everett, who is best known as the creator of The Submariner and co-creator of Daredevil. Is the new Amazing Man worth buying? Let's look at issue #1. You can obtain a digital copy of this comic book for free, once again, on Indie Planet. Before we look at issue #1, I want to look at Wikipedia and their take on the original Amazing Man. Amazing Man is John Ammon, and this is from Wikipedia, for those who want to know. He's a fictional American comic book superhero whose adventures were published by Centaur Publications during the 1930s to 1940s in the golden age of comic books. Historians credit his creation variously to writer-artist Bill Everett, or to Everett together with Centaur art director Lloyd Jacket. Amazing Man first appeared in Amazing Man Comics #5, September 1939. The character influenced the creation and origin of Carlton Comics' 1960 superhero Peter Cannon, Thunderbolt, as well as Marvel Comics' Iron Fist character in the 1970s. During the golden age of comic books, Centaur Publications produced Amazing Man's eponymous series, Amazing Man Comics, which ran from issues #5 through 26, September 1939 through February 1942. John Ammon is an orphan from the West, chosen for his superb physical structure to be raised by benevolent monks in Tibet for the first 25 years of his life. Each member of the Council of Seven, as the monks are known, trained him to a superhuman degree of physical and mental ability, while also giving him the ability, via a chemical solution, to disappear into a cloud of green mist, earning him the secondary title of the Green Mist. After receiving his final test, he is sent into the world to use his skills and abilities to do good. Opposing Ammon, as he was often known, is his nemesis, the Great Question, a disgruntled member of the Council of Seven. Now let's look at the modern Amazing Man from Gallant Comics, and again, issue #1 is available free on Indie Planet. Butler and Gregory's story opens with investigative journalist Zoe Henderson on a tour of Emmelman Laboratories. Dr. Eric Emmelman is showing off his crowning accomplishment: plants that look like people. Emmelman assures the journalist that they are not intelligent creatures and will only behave in a way to do their creator's bidding. However, one creature reaches out and grabs Zoe. Emmelman panics and assures her that this isn't possible. Something has gone wrong. I won't reveal any plot points here. Suffice to say, this looks like a job for Amazing Man. Sorry. Anyway, Steve Butler's art is top-notch and worthy of any professional comic book company. The battle scene with Dr. Vampire is fun and showcases Amazing's abilities in a unique way. Comic relief arrives in the person of Agent Sylvia Manners from the X-Bureau, who is trying to convince Amazing Man to join her during the fight. But our hero is skeptical and lets her know directly that she has given him no reason to trust her. This team works great together, and the art is a clear compliment to the words. It's great stuff. In conclusion, the issue brings us several tropes from the golden age of comics. Mad scientists bent on global conquest, crazy inventions that are used to subdue our hero, and misguided use of scientific knowledge. But this issue brings about a modern sensibility to all the fun involved. I thoroughly enjoyed this issue and will probably review more Amazing Man comics in the future. And that was my review for Amazing Man #1, put out by Ka-Blam Comic Books. The character is in public domain, and that's a little sideline. If you're a comic book creator wannabe and you don't know how to get noticed, look for characters that are in public domain. Dracula, several others out there. But look into using them as sources of inspiration. People who read Dracula novels, comic books, watch the movies that Dracula is in, will probably check it out for curiosity's sake. And that was my look at a couple of comic books that are available on Indie Planet that most of us probably haven't heard of, trying to bring exposure to the little guy, the comic book creator that doesn't have a lot of resources and money to promote. Thanks for joining me once again. Check out my reviews and my column on Comics for Sinners, and look up Carl Vincent Vampire Hunter on Facebook. If you like what you see, click like, and stay tuned for more information on upcoming comic books and movies and animation featuring Carl Vincent Vampire Hunter. You can find all things Carl Vincent on Amazon, Indie Planet, Drive-Thru Comics, and Kindle. Until next week, this is Kevin Gibbon saying so long and keep reading those comics.